doesn't surprise me that we're thinking about what's coming out. But anyway, with that being said, things. Speaking of things coming out, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Deadhead Podcast, episode 66. Yeah, we're back, man. It feels good to be back as usual. Jan, how's it going, brother?
Well, it's going mostly all right. Actually, yeah, it's going pretty good. My hair won't listen to reason.
Mm,
But besides that, it's all good. Actually, no. There's one thing that's been bugging me. Remember when you had video game fatigue?
yeah.
Well, I'm sort of getting that. It's
Uh
not
oh.
video game fatigue, it's RPG fatigue.
Uh oh.
And and I know the culprit. The culprit is Final Fantasy X, and
Uh
its
huh.
ridiculous sphere grid system. Because I'm trying to go for 100% as you usually do, and
Right.
I'm used to grinds. I'm used to RPGs, but this game, dude, this game is something else. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna, I'm not even gonna start big. I don't even know where to begin. It's just the biggest, most atrocious grind ever, and there's like more parts to it. Like you gotta, I'm not even gonna start, but let's just say that I've been enjoying playing the first Berserker. Even though it's been kicking my ass, it's
Yeah.
been a good palate cleanser.
Yeah. Yeah. Get you away.
So,
That's the
mm,
one thing. And by the way, don't ever feel like we can't talk about Final Fantasy, dude. You know me. I love. Even though I haven't gone through the full journey like you, start from the first one, and because I've only played the more modern. If you want to,
mhm.
Final Fantasy 10 and upwards. I've only played more of those. I played a little bit of the seven original. I played a little bit of 8 and 9, but I've never really ever gotten too far into like I did 10, 12, and onward. So if you ever want to talk about that stuff, for one thing, feel free to ever do it. I'm sure the people who listen who would love to listen to hear it, and I know I'd love to hear it because I love Final Fantasy. The other thing I was going to bring to you was I was actually worried for you a little bit because I love Final Fantasy X. We talked about it on the last show. I love the setting. I love the game. Here's the thing, though. It is a turn-based RPG combat system, and the Expedition 33 it drops in a
Okay.
couple weeks, and so I'm actually kind of worried for you because I think you handle things. I think you handle things a little bit better than I do, but I am a little worried for you that you're going to get fatigued from just jumping from one to the other. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I wouldn't worry because the fighting system is not the crux of the problem here. It really isn't. Uh, Especially because both Expedition 33 and Final Fantasy X are turn-based game, but they're very different. Like you can tell, right? They have very different philosophy. You can just tell by looking at footage, not even going that deep into it. No, my problem with FF10 is just that it's like I'm not talking about it because it's not that I'm not talking about it because I think I'm gonna bore you or anything. It's just I'm boring myself out. There's like so much research you're gonna do, so many menial tasks, and I'm exhausted by it all. That's why I'm not going too much deep into it. I can just show you something. I can show you there. Without going too much deep into it. At some point, you get these weapons that can
Hmm.
capture the enemies. By capturing, you just have to defeat them with these weapons. It's not too bad. The weapons suck ass. But besides that, if your team, has high enough stats, it's not a problem. Thing is, in order to 100% a game, you gotta capture 10. You have to get 10 specimens of each enemy in the entire game that can be captured. I
Hmm.
mean, just look at this dude. Oh man, you can't see it,
There it
but it's like
is.
it's like a little table, right? Oh man, the virtual background is already okay. There it is, right? And I got 5 pages of this.
Holy
Man,
crap!
I hate this so much. Yeah, I got, and it's like, and by the way, I had to make this myself. I couldn't find anything on the net that had everything that I needed. I got the monster's name, the topology because that is a factor. Where can I find it in each area? And then I have like a little tally here that I did myself.
Holy crap, dude!
And here's the thing, I'm not done. I'm nearly done. I'm not done because the problem is one of the final enemies, especially the enemies are like in a secret dungeon and everything. They really kick my ass. Like it's a miracle if I even beat one of them, right? Let alone with shitty weapons, let alone 10 times each, right? And by the way, you gotta kill them with a normal attack. You cannot use a limit break or
Mm,
whatever they're called. You cannot use the summons. You cannot use magic. And so I've been kind of leaving those for last. But
my
here's the
God.
thing: Here's the thing: all of this is just in preparation for the big grind, because capturing all these unlocks a bunch of enemies in the monster arena that I have to fight over and over in order to get enough spheres, right? Um, that I can like slot, because in the sphere grid there are a lot of empty slots, and you have to fill those too. Especially like if you want to be leveled, I guess like you got to be beefed up enough to fight the dark eons and the other secret bosses. But here's the problem: those spheres that fill the empty slots, they're like purple. They're super rare. You can only get them consistently from these monsters that only unlock when you capture all these monsters. And here's the other problem: these monsters that you unlock that drop the purple spheres, they're strong as hell.
Mm.
They're they're
Right.
stronger than the final boss. My
Damn.
party is at a point that can kill the final boss in 3 turns. Count them. 3 turns. You would get me to kill the final boss. These guys, just one of these guys that I'm supposed to fight like on a consistently, right? For drops per orbs, they're kicking my ass. It's it's beyond ridiculous. I got like all the like strongest weapons in the game. You know, the Ultima weapon, War Champion for Waka, Nirvana for what's her face, Yuna.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I got all of that, and it's not enough. So I gotta level, right? I gotta start leveling, but the most recommended leveling method requires me to capture all of these monsters. So you see how I'm making a pickle here. So I gotta get another leveling method, which is all right. It's not as optimal. Uh, and then there's like a bunch of things that factor into this. Like I would like to, oh yeah, I would like to get some of the stronger eons, right? The
Mm-hmm.
stronger summons. One of them, I can, and I promise, yeah, I know I said that I'm not gonna talk about it, you know, but once,
Right.
once the dam opens, like there's no
Right.
stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the temples, right? Where or the cloister of trials, I think it's called in
Right.
English, where you,
Yep.
yeah, so you only have to go through them once from the story, and but each one of them holds a secret item inside. And if you get all the secret items, then you can get Anima, which is one of the strongest summons, right?
Right.
But I didn't follow a guide at the beginning, so I didn't get this hidden items. So, but that's no problem, right? I would just have to go back. You think, right?
Right.
But no, because once you get the airship, which is when you actually want to go back, right? You don't want to go back on foot because that's just ridiculous. Once you get the airship, then you unlock these dark eons, these like ridiculously strong bosses that are forced upon you. I cannot get to the item that would allow me to, to get a summon that I want that could help me with the bosses, because the bosses themselves are blocking my path. Do you understand my like this
Yeah.
part? And then there's a bunch of mini games. You know, some are fun, some are not, most are not. All of them
Right.
are. Like there's Blitzball, which is, I mean, I know a lot of people like it, so I don't want to offend anyone, but it's,
Yeah.
you know what it is? It's, you know those like soccer simulation games like FIFA
Yeah.
or PES, It's like that, but with an ATB system. And like a shit ton of numbers and abbreviations that you're supposed to memorize. Uh, like okay, so like in each situation, if it's a tackle, if you're going for the goal, or if you want to stop someone from going for a goal, if you want to tackle someone, you gotta factor in different stats. Each of them abbreviated, and they sound kind of intuitive when the tutorial tells them about you. By the way, the tutorial is like 5 minutes long, and by the
Mm-hmm.
time it's over, you haven't absorbed anything that it taught you.
Right.
Uh, like it can't just say, I don't remember exactly what they're called. There's stuff like, I don't know, like tackle strength, that's TS, which
Oh wow.
while you're playing, it's something like that, it's something along those
Yeah.
lines. So while you're watching the tutorial, right, okay, that's simple enough, but mind you, there's like 10 of these abbreviations, and now you're like in a tackle. Imagine you're playing the game, you're in a tackle, and you go, and then you have like, okay, you have your TS, you go to PH, you got your QR and your AM, and you got to figure out what's the best move. Okay, so do I pass? And then you got to factor in the enemies, whatever, T, Q, KL, and is just I mean, it's a learning curve.
Hmm.
And then there's like other mini games. There's this one where you gotta dodge lightning 200 times in a row. Uh, then there's this other one where you gotta ride chocobos with most, which is so hard, weird because when you ride a chocobo anywhere in the game, the controls are pretty intuitive. But for these mini games, where you gotta be very precise, they fucked up the controls on purpose to make it extra hard. It's. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I don't. It's like they're trying to set whatever. And of course, all of these mini games are required to get the celestial weapons, right? The strongest weapons in the game.
Oh
I don't even
man,
have to tell. Like, I don't even have to tell you that, right?
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm having fun with.
Having fun. Yeah,
But what about
fun.
I
Fun
mean,
is the key word. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm really, yeah. This one might break me. Like
yeah,
usually, like usually, yeah. I know it might seem like a bit of a masochistic hobby, try to complete every game, but I do generally enjoy it most of
yeah.
the
You're right,
times,
right.
right? This one is really pushing it. Like, and I've been doing this for like 10 plus years, and I'm a limit.
Right.
That's why, again, thankful for Kazan, where it's mostly mindless fun. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of RPG elements, way more than I thought there would be. Yeah, we
yeah.
can get into this later, but I thought it would be
No,
God of
I don't.
War,
I
but
don't.
it's. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
know. I thought it. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a minute, but just go with what you're saying because like that was a lot. That was a lot,
Yeah,
John.
it's not even half of it
Well,
normally. It's
but we've talked about this before, and honestly, I was kind of on a platinum kick for a little while there when especially when we first started doing the show. I was like, man, he's platinum games. I got to get up to his level. I'll never get up to your level, and I'm okay with
yeah.
that. And I can see the fun in it because it is fun and it is addicting when you hear that platinum,
Mhm. Ding.
cue pop up and yeah, it's very enriching, but yeah, that would make me hate Final Fantasy X. That really would. Like I would just because Final Fantasy X's story and world and like again, we talked about it last week is amazing
Mhm.
and it sucks. Like I know you enjoy the game at the end of the day, but just with all this crap, I hope you get it if you decide to stick with it. But I'm telling you, man,
Yeah,
that's a whole other level, dude. That's a whole other
it
level.
really
I,
is.
I don't I don't
Yeah,
think
it's like a
I couldn't
whole
do it.
other game tacked onto the main one. It's
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
And what's the do you know what the percentage rate of people getting the platinum on that game? Do you know if they've showed
It's
that? Like,
probably not like, what the most like distressing, not distressing, but the most, how should I say, gut-wrenching thing is, it's probably not even like that low. Because I mean, RPG fans, man, they're insane. I'm looking it up as we speak.
right.
Let's see who gets it first.
Oh, I was actually looking up something else that I
Uh,
wanted. That way I could talk about.
okay, okay, guess, man, guess.
Uh,
And take into factor that most like guides and the how long to beat pages, they estimate that the time needed to 100% complete this game or platinum it is one or the other. It's one of the platinums actually need a full 100%. They estimate over 100 hours. They go from like 90 hours to like 140 hours.
mhm.
Now with that information, try to guess what the completion rate is.
5%.
Well, I mean, okay, it's 2.4.
Oh, okay. I was trying to give it a little bit higher. I didn't want to go that low with it.
Yeah, but it's still pretty high, I think, right? I'm sure I have rare platinums that are nowhere near this demanding. I don't under. It's Final Fantasy, I guess. It's a whole like it's a very popular franchise.
Did
People
you
go
ever
nuts
get?
over it.
Did you ever get the rebirth platinum? Because I know you were pretty close with that.
Not yet, not yet. Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing. So I've been going like on a Final Fantasy streak, going through all my backlog, platinum all of them. In the meantime, well, what I wanted to do is to go through all those, go, 1 through 6, then 9, then 10, then 10 too, maybe. Then maybe get some spin-off stuff like Type Zero. And then the big finale, the grand finale to this would have been 7 Rebirth. This doesn't hold a candle to Rebirth, I'd say. I mean, Rebirth might take more time, but it's way more fun. It's
Hmm.
like time. I remember with Rebirth, I'm pretty much at the end, and time passed way more naturally. Like I got over 100 hours in Rebirth without even noticing. Here, like I'm telling you all this, I think I'm barely like 60 hours, and I'm already, I'm already looking like the dad from Coraline. I'm really, really worried for him.
Yeah, no, that sucks, man. But I mean, like I said, I hope that if you do stick with it, I do wish you luck, man. But
I
I just
appreciate it.
I could not do it, and I commend you for taking the time to do it for all of us.
Someone has to. Huh?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. No, that's
So how are you?
doing good, doing good.
Awesome.
Busy as usual, but I've had some time to play some games. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to take off. I usually go to my part time tomorrow, but I'm actually going to take the day off because
Mhm.
I got some little bit of homework action I need to get done. But I also
Ooh,
want to take
some
another day just
chores.
yeah, just another day to take hang out, play some games, hang out with the wife and my baby, and but it's been good. It's been good. I'm playing the first Berserker, which I took a little break from that for like
Mm,
a few days, and then I went back to it. But I've been head over heels for AC Shadows,
hmm
like pretty big time. I was when I first started playing it, I was like, yeah, it's good, run of the mill. I've played it before, but then it like took off, and now I'm
hmm
like I can really say I'm addicted to it because it's like now I think about it. I think about when I'm not playing it. And the first Berserker is close to that as well. The first Berserker is just a different type of game, and we're gonna get into that. And as a matter of fact, if you want to, we can go ahead and get into that conversation now.
Yeah, sure thing.
Would you like me to start it, or would you like to start
Yeah,
it?
I'm really curious to what you have to say about this.
So, just to give you guys some little bit of history here, I'm sure if you guys are returning, if you're not, thank you for coming to the Deadhead Podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe to the channel. So for more shows in the future, we're supposed to be having some guests and things like that on and over the next few weeks. So definitely come back after this one if you like us. Um, I've talked about in previous episodes in last year that one of the games I was really looking forward to for the first part of this year was the first Berserker KHAZAN. I really liked the world. I really liked the characters. I didn't even know really it was based off of a pre-established universe as it is, and a lot of the cast of Final Fantasy 16 are in this game. Uh, with especially the main character, he's Ben Starr who plays Clive Rossfield. You guys, if you've been returning, you know I love Final Fantasy 16. It's only because it came into my life at a time that I needed it. I'm not saying the game is perfect. I'm not saying it's my favorite combat system. I'm not even gonna act like the story is the best thing ever, but it's something about the music. It's something about the music and just the feeling it gave me. I felt powerful. I felt like I was a force to be reckoned with, and I think that's why I like it so much. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's
Oh no,
like
I
you
mean the game is, dude.
look like.
You don't gotta be shy about it. I mean, Final Fantasy 16 is by no means like a bad game. I think I think it's real fun. Even the things you said that might not be as good, like the story and the combat. I think they have a lot of merit.
Mhm.
No, I think yeah, and the game it is a total vibe. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand. I
for
can
sure.
definitely see myself playing it again. So
Well,
I get
I
it.
know that I've seen two camps of it where it's like you never have a person that's like I like this, but I don't like this. It's always like the game is trash. It's not a good Final Fantasy, or it's awesome Final Fantasy. I
It's the
enjoy,
best
but
thing
it,
ever. They might as well never make
yeah,
video games again.
that's
It's
right.
just
Yeah,
came. I mean,
yeah,
that's the internet for you, right?
that is yeah. So, but anyway, so I really like that. So when I found out that a lot of people involved with that was going to be in with this one, I was like, sign me up. The art style impressed me. The combat looked good. The monsters you fought, yeah. So you get the game, and I actually got the digital deluxe edition. Like I got that, so then I got it like 2 days early or something like that with some other armor and stuff. So I figured for like 10 more bucks I was gonna buy it. Plus, I wanted to support this one, and I have to say I've really enjoyed it. I'm not far into it. Matter of fact, while you were talking about Final Fantasy, I actually was looking up the boss list and tell you where I stopped. I literally
Okay.
got as far as Volbino, Volbino, V O
I just
L.
beat him. I beat him like 1 hour ago. The guy with like the
Yeah,
hot the
yeah.
thing.
And
What do you call
he's
it?
got the hammer, and he's got the pike or
The other thing.
something or whatever it is.
Yeah, and then he hammers you with the fucking thing, and he,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's as far as I got. I have not played
oh, that's
anything
pretty
further than
far.
that. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. Before I get any
hmm
judgmental eyes, I after that boss Viper, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, yeah,
I did turn the difficulty down to
yeah.
easy.
Well, after
Um,
it or during it?
during it because
Okay.
I fought Viper like 40 times, and
hmm
I got really close like the time before that I don't remember, And I was like, I'm so close. Let me just get back to it. And as soon as I walked out onto the battleground, he slapped
Mhm.
me with one attack. I died. And and the wife was watching me play, and she's like, "This game looks cool and all, but this looks like that Elden Ring game you don't really play all that much." I was like, "Yeah, it kind of does have that vibe." I was like, I can either keep it on this difficulty or I can drop it back and kind of at least enjoy it a little bit.
Mhm.
So as much as I feel bad about it, I did drop the difficulty down. I accept it. I don't care. I might be a noob,
Mhm.
whatever. I dropped it down to easy. Uh, this,
Or those
the
are the two
shit, the
difficulties.
shit,
There's normal and easy. That's
this shit is not easy, like
it's
at
not.
all.
Oh
It's the
man.
only thing they did. The only difference between that I could tell. I was talking to wife about it. Is they did decrease the amount of damage the enemies can hit you with,
Or it's
especially
just numbers.
yeah. So especially if you have decent armor on, which I do. Um, it chunks away your health, but it's not like one hit and it takes almost your entire health bar. It's
Mhm.
more like it might take like a quarter or like a little over a quarter. So like if they hit you 3 times, you're still probably dead. But it's definitely not like a one hit and then you're
Mhm.
like hanging on for dear life. So it is a bit more forgiving, but it's not easy by any means. It's still really freaking hard. And matter of fact, I was looking at a gameplay video. As a matter of fact, the Viper and the Volbano or Vobano, whatever it is.
Whatever it's called.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I saw an easy and then normal playthrough. They literally the same move set. They move the same speed. It's nothing different except for the damage. It does. They do add a little bit more damage to you. So I don't feel as bad about saying I'm playing on easy mode, but at the same time, I hate that I had to back it off because I guess with the way my life is currently, I cannot like just get
Mhm.
maimed within the first couple seconds of the fight. I know you got to get better, you got to work. I get it, but it's just with my time right now when I can play, I just would rather not get my ass penetrated for 2 or so hours that I have
Yeah,
the
by a
time back.
guy
So
named Valbina.
exactly, yeah, I
Yeah,
know
man.
exactly. I mean, Volbino really, but anyway, but yes, I did cut it down, but uh I really do like the game. I love the art style. I think the combat is super satisfying to me. I
Mhm.
did when I played the demo, I thought it was more like God of War. I thought it was more like God of War 2018. That's why I told you that. I really had
Mhm.
I felt it completely through. I was like, okay, this is a lot like God of War, like 2018 Ragnarok. When I finally got my hands on the full game and I started playing a little more, I'm like, yeah, this is not this is not that. However, when you unlock your abilities, you do feel pretty damn powerful, and you have a good a good skill set. Um, I think it definitely gives you a bit more options as far as like on an early game basis. And you correct me if I'm wrong here, because I put like 25 hours into like Elden Ring. By 25 hours in Elden Ring, I still felt pretty damn weak. Like I was slapping some enemies, but I was still kind of getting my ass kicked a little bit. With the first Berserker, I did feel that I did feel like I was a force to be reckoned with, but then I would come across some miscellaneous enemy, get slapped a couple times, or I come across a mini boss, get slapped a time or two. But for the most part, I feel like my character is pretty damn capable so far. And I'm not even, I think I'm like a level, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to guess, but I want to say at least I'm close to 20 to 23, something like that. Um,
Mhm.
but I really like the music. I love the music. I think it's got a good like medieval dark fantasy type vibe to it that I really like. The armor sets look cool. The weapons look cool. I like the variety of weapons. I told Jan through private message I've been using the spear a lot. That's been my favorite weapon. I feel like it's got the best range. I feel like if you're getting surrounded, the spear is the best weapon to use. And coincidentally enough, the spear is my favorite weapon to use in AC Shadows as well.
Well, what do you
So
know?
right now I have a spear build on both games. So trying to think if there's anything else specific. Enemy designs. I really like enemy designs a lot. Matter of fact, I mean, even if you want to go to like Volbino, right? Um, besides him pegging me in the ass, he actually he's got a cool look to him. Same with Viper. Viper looks. I called him like a dragon type thing. Um,
Yeah, that really confused me. Like we were trying to figure out
yeah,
where were we, and you're calling him a dragon. I guess
yeah,
he is a in the second form. He's more of a dragon.
yeah,
Like I see that, but the first one I thought it was more like just a lizard man,
yeah,
just a
yeah.
lizard guy.
But I'm not trying to justify by any means, even though like because I did move the difficulty down So I'm not going to justify this by doing it, but I will say the difficulty curve is still pretty damn high. This is harder
Mm-hmm.
than a majority of games that I have played recently, for sure. And even like
Mm-hmm.
AC Shadows, I'm playing on expert mode because that's I was watching reviewers at the time, and Ubisoft AI sometimes is not the best, but they said if it's expert difficulty, they can sniff you out a lot quicker when you're trying to be stealthy, and in combat, they strike fast and they deal a ton of damage. I'm walking around as Yasuke, big, big black beast, um, a samurai, and I'm getting clapped. Now don't wrong. Yasuke's powerful. He's fast. He's strong. But I'm still like, so I'm playing two games right now that are challenging me and my reflexes as a gamer, which I do like. And they're two, honestly, I can say this hands down. Both of these games are fantastic in my opinion. I've really enjoyed. I'm having a lot of fun with both of these games. But to go back to Kazan, I think it definitely is quality. I really do like it. If I was going to play a Souls like, this would be it. This and Liza P. I think they both have a
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
cool vibe.
Yeah.
I really like it, man. So I hate that I had to cut down the difficulty. I can see the judgment in your eyes, but
Yeah.
I know I'm mostly messing with you, but
Mhm.
I am enjoying it. It's still pretty difficult, and it's pretty damn rewarding too. But I think that's all I
Yeah.
got for as far as initial thoughts. What you got?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. So where should I start? So I mean, first off, I mean, this goes without saying, but easy mode is there for a reason. So I don't think there should be any shame with picking it. However, I am a bit disappointed from what you just said because I was curious to hear what they change, and from what you're saying, they're just changing numbers,
Yeah, they're
which is
changing
the
the
lazy.
damage output. That they're
Yeah,
definitely
right,
you're not dealing any extra damage. Like I've noticed that too. It's just it's more the damage they put on you.
right. Yeah,
So
you can get more abuse pretty much before kicking the
yes,
bucket.
yeah, it like
Uh,
gives you a little bit longer to because I'm gonna tell you right now,
yeah.
every boss fight, I still don't hardly have any health potions by the end of every fight. I don't
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I have no healing items by the time I get to every boss fight thus
Mm-hmm.
far, mini and otherwise.
By
So
potions, you mean the one that replenish, right?
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
orbs.
The main like health, whatever it is. Yeah, I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called lore wise, but I've run out of those every time. So it's still freaking hard. I think that they'll let you take another hit or two before it's like holy shit. Like I actually have gameplay footage before you get into your spiel. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I got to post it because I got busy, but I was fighting this one guy, and it was like right before I got to Volbino. It was like right outside the doors to get to that
The
boss
guy with the
fight.
hammer, right?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he was beating my ass, and
No,
like he
yeah,
had the
he's an
hammer.
asshole.
He'd
Yeah.
hit you one time, and then bam, bam,
It keeps
bam,
going.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I kept dying there, and the wife was sitting behind me in like her spot on the couch, and I'm like, this is supposed to be easy mode. What the fuck is this? Like, but yeah, so it's still got the difficulty there. It's just not as bad, I guess you could say, as far as damage output.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of old school in that sort of way, right? Because games used to be like, I mean, from what I hear, I wasn't alive back then, but there was just like there was like a normal and a hard setting, right? I mean, here it's easy and normal, but like the dynamic is the same. There's the one that that completely eviscerates your balls, and there's the one that that just crushes them, and that's it. But then you get to keep them on at least. Uh, but yeah, but still, I think it's kind of lazy the way they went with it. I think this is why From Software games don't get easy modes because this is what it would look like, right? Uh, and maybe it helps you out, and that's great. But I think that, and maybe for this game it works, but I feel like it's if it's the same experience, just more permissive, then it's either like it can go one or two ways. It's either doesn't make that much of a difference, or it's so permissive to the point that you're playing a different game, right? Like you don't even have to look out for equipment or learn certain techniques.
Yeah.
But I digress. That was just
Yeah, it
further
definitely
comment.
it
Yeah.
like just two things before you get into spiel. So to
Hmm.
go off what you just said, yeah, I mean you definitely still what gear you're wearing, what
Hmm.
what you bring with you as far as like any kind of accessories, talisman, potions, things like that. All that stuff definitely matters, and I that was one thing I tested. I was like, because when I put it on easy, that you got to understand, like, and I'm sure you feel this way too. But then again,
Hmm.
you probably wouldn't do this because you're just good at these types of games. But I'm like, when I had to move it back to easy, it felt like my balls just like shriveled up because I was like, I hate doing that. I don't like.
Uh-huh.
I remember doing that. A bunch of people hated me for it, but I don't know if you remember. I did a video years ago, and
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen it, but maybe. But if you haven't, I'll link it to you when we get off of here. But
Which is it?
it's I'm talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and in that
Oh,
video,
okay.
I'm
We're
like,
way back.
yeah. So like I made this video because I didn't know that it was like a more of like a Souls
Hmm.
adjacent type game. So I didn't know that going into it, and maybe I should have been paying more attention. But whatever. I just seen Star Wars lightsabers. I'm like, sign me up, you know. So anyway, I start playing, and I'm playing on the normal difficulty, which I think is like what Jedi.
Don't
It's not.
ask me.
It's not Padawan. It's like maybe Jedi. Let's say Jedi Master, just for the sake of argument. That's like your
Hmm.
normal difficulty. Well, dude, I'm getting slapped left, right, and center. Like each enemy's just fucking me up. And I'm like, are you? I'm supposed to be a Jedi. Why am I getting my ass kicked this bad? And so I made a whole video about how I'm about to, at the time, like, because I was buying all my games physical. Like, I was not how I am today. Shame on me, I know. But I was like, I'm about to take the disc out of my console, smash it, throw it out the window, and take my lawnmower and just go back and forth in my yard until it's just nothing left. Like I was fuming. I was so mad. And like I guess with this now that I'm much more aware and I'm much more in turn with like how these games work, and I knew what I was going into when I got it. I didn't think it was going to be Souls to the point of this. Um
Hmm.
but I still wanted to enjoy it. And so when I cut it back to easy, I was really I had to like my ball shriveled up for like a second. But the reason why I bring up the whole Star Wars thing is that in the video I talked about I had to move the difficulty down, and this is how I said it too, which made me laugh. He's like, I had to cut the difficulty down. Do you realize how fucking stupid that is? Why should I have to do that? I don't even want to play it anymore. Like I was so mad. I'm
Like
not
that's
like
the last
yeah,
strand,
like if
right?
I got to do that, then I might as well just give up. And I'm not like that with this game. I still see myself playing it. I don't know
Hmm.
if I'm going to beat it, and that only reason why I say that is because just with everything coming out. I mean, we'll get into that at some point in the show, I'm sure. But we have there's so much things coming out. I just don't know if I want to commit my time to that. But the other thing I was going to mention was story. That was the one thing I did not mention when I was giving my spiel of it. I am intrigued, but I also think the story is lacking a little bit as well. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
all I
Oh,
got for it because I don't
definitely.
know what else to say because there's not much really going
Yeah, I
on there.
mean,
So,
we both only beat like what first couple of missions. So,
right.
but since you talked about that, for now I agree with you. Well, I'm not. I'm a bit more pessimistic, honestly, because I feel like this is a very specific type of Souls-like. It's very similar to Neo. Have you played one of those?
I've tried it out. I don't think that was one I ever got too far into.
Yeah, but me neither, because it's a type that I don't really like. First off, it doesn't have like the open areas. It's divided in missions. You know, just like in Neo, you get like a shit ton of gear, which is just the same gear, just with different stats.
Hmm.
Then you're supposed to, dilute them, or whatever. Um, there's um, there's just a lot of similarities, let's say, and there's also similarity in the story. In the story, that it's like very much not a focal point. I feel like, right? It's just something. You got a few cutscenes, right, after a mission, at the beginning of the other. Sometimes like some dialogue in between, but that's it. The gameplay really takes the center stage, and I feel like this story is probably something more for fans of what's it called, Dungeon Fighter or
Hmm.
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It's more something for them to like maybe a lot of reference to pick up on, like, oh my god, so this is how the guy got circumcised or whatever, because he's circumcised in the main game.
Right. Right.
It's that kind of stuff. Uh, like I'm not into Dungeon Fighter, and I'm not into and I'm really not into the extended universe aspect of media anymore. Haven't for a long time. So I feel like this is just one of those kind of stories. I mean, some of the things okay, sure. Like I enjoy some of it. Like I enjoy the concept, but I don't think it's gonna go much farther, right? I think it's just gonna say, okay, what happened? Why is he so angry? Who betrayed him? And I don't know. And by the end, he's either gonna kill the guy or not. I don't know. I don't know. I sound kind of like an asshole, but you know what I mean, right? The story. I don't think the story is that much of a focus here. Is what
Right.
I want to
Right.
say.
Well, it looks like a revenge story, right? I mean, you get the impression
Yeah,
that some kind of, and
it's
again,
obviously a
it's
revenge story. Yeah.
some kind of empire turned their back on him, and
Yeah, but he was like a high general.
mhm,
Then something happened, and he got tortured in the most ridiculous way possible. They like cut his tendons. Uh, Fortunately, the rage ghost, healed him up quickly. Made him touch the
mhm,
bonfire. By the way, I know they could call something. I keep calling them bonfires, and I keep calling the currency used to level up souls
mhm.
because they work exactly the same way they do in
Yeah,
Soul games. Which is,
exact same way. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm
which
not
I got
even bothered with
which I got
yeah.
a whole other thing to talk about with that. But we can wait till you get to your spiel. So overall, you're
Hmm.
more of a Souls type game, this kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
What off of your let's say we're 7 to 8 hours in. Easily, we could
Uh,
probably say we're 7 to 8 hours in.
yeah, yeah,
What do
yeah.
you think so far? I mean, what are
Uh,
your thoughts on it?
okay, so just having prefaced this is a specific type, as I already said, it's like a specific type of Souls-like game. Because something that I really like in Souls-type games is kind of the openness of it.
Hmm.
You can pretty much go anywhere. You probably shouldn't if it's your first playthrough, but you can pretty much go anywhere, right? Pick up items from wherever, and the items actually make a difference. Like you mentioned, not feeling very powerful on Elden Ring. I mean, that's normal. You don't know how to use like certain magic, right? Which one is most powerful? I think that's what I find very fun about those games. Kind of fuck around and find out. I said this in my in the last episode, I think. So, and this game is really not much more hand-holdy. Not in a bad way. It just means that there's like one straight path, right? You just go from mission to mission. Um, but having said that, I enjoy it. Although I enjoy it even a lot. I'll say I enjoy it a lot. Everything you said, like the animations are cool, the enemy designs are cool, the combat system is cool. But I find there's like a huge discrepancy in not in difficulty, in quality, at least IMO, between the boss fights, and everything else. Like when I'm against a boss fight, like I'm having fun, even if he's kicking my ass. I'm learning his moves. I'm figuring out how to fight back. This is one great thing this game does. I don't think any other Souls game did this. You keep getting souls or whatever they call, what even if you lose against the boss.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like
like that.
it goes, yeah, you won the boss challenge or whatever, and it gives you some souls. So after it's kicked your ass 10 times, you have enough souls to level up a few times. That's pretty cool. So you can go back. You don't have to like grind. You are leveling as you're attempting the boss. That's genius. I love that. And so you can level up more. You can spend ability points because that's divided from level up. Leveling up just increases your stats, while ability points actually teaches you new abilities for each of the weapon types. Since you said you like the spear, I like the great sword so far.
I've
Um,
used that the least amount of times because I just the build up to the swing just it kept killing
uh,
me.
well, here's the thing. I kind of being a quote unquote veteran at these types of games. I learned that it's better to react than to act. So what I do, I don't go swinging. I wait for the guy to swing. I learn the time, deflect, and then when he's open, I attack. And the
Mhm.
greatsword does a lot of damage, and in its one swing, even if it takes a lot, so you can really punish those openings once you learn where they are.
Mhm.
But what I was saying is that I'm having a lot of fun with the bosses. Not so much fun getting to them. I mean, it's all right. It's not bad. Um, I don't have like some decent criticism for like the stages, right, or the enemies. I just think that the bosses are so much more fun that the only thing I'm thinking about while going through a stage is, okay, when is the boss showing up? When am I gonna get over with this, right?
Yeah.
So most of the times I run, which as someone who plays games, you should never do unless you know where you're going. Especially in this game, have you tried running? These guys will follow you from like to the ends of the earth. This is
Hmm.
ridiculous. Their aggro range is off the charts. I think they can even follow you like from one level to another if they could.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
so I run, which obviously is a mistake because I don't know where I'm going, and enemies build up behind me, so they just gangbang me, and I die. And
Hmm.
but that's not real. I think that's just a me thing. Um, because the again, I don't really like this level design where it's pretty much, yeah, there are like different ways you can go, right? Like
Hmm.
those a path splits at some point. But really there is only one main path, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like a
Yep.
straight line to the boss, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't find it very enthralling, very engaging in this type of game. I
Yeah.
usually don't mind like Uncharted, completely different type of game, but those are very linear, and I don't mind at all. I
Hmm.
really like those. So I don't know. It's just a me thing.
I
But the
think it comes
bosses
down.
are
I think
great.
it comes down to level design too. When you
Hmm.
talk about Uncharted, like even though Uncharted, so if you go back to like Uncharted One, you could
Hmm.
tell very clearly they were limited in hardware, but they did what they could to make the best of it. And like even those
Hmm.
like rainforest areas where you're just having a shootout with like 60 dudes and you're just a mass murderer at that point. Um,
And by
they
the way, these guys are like, I'm sorry to interrupt you,
oh
but
go
this
ahead.
guy, like the guy who's like hiring them, he's like looking for treasure. And I'm thinking, how rich do you gotta be, right? To hire so many goons. Like, you don't need El Dorado, man. Like, you're probably richer than the guys who made it are.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, because I'm like, and yeah, because in Uncharted One, dude, that's like like not to get on that subject, but it's
It's a
like a shooting
massacre.
gallery. It's just that's all
Yeah,
it is. It's fun. It's
it
a
really is.
blast, but it's a shoot. Man, now I kind of want to go back and play that now. But yeah, it was
Low
like
key.
it's just like a shooting gallery, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think they did a really good job, and I mean that's Naughty Dog for you too. They just
Hmm.
this team that did this game is a smaller team. I do like. I think animations are great, but I actually as you were talking, I started thinking about more things. And I will say that as we're talking about environments, I do think that as much as I do like the look of the environments in Kazan, there's not anything too impressive. Nothing has really stood
Hmm.
out. I don't know if you feel the same way at all, but
No,
nothing's really stood
absolutely.
out to me.
Yeah, I mean, so far I've been on Snowy Mountain, and it's just that. I mean, I guess there's some cool architecture here and there, but it's not really cool. It's cool in the sense that it's fantasy, right? In that sense, but it's not very interesting to look at. Same
Hmm.
with the other environments, like the little village or whatever. And maybe things change later on. We're just at the beginning,
Right.
but yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
So
The
you think overall,
character design
yeah, character design
is
is
way
really
more
good.
of a focus. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like the characters a lot. They have like a very anime type look to them,
Hmm.
but it looks cool. It looks cool. Because I know with me and Jan were talking about that privately, and one of the things that I think steers us both sometimes, I've been trying to be a bit more open with it, but that anime style sometimes I don't I don't
Yeah.
love it in my games sometimes, but it just depends on what I'm playing. Because this, honestly, here's what I'm about to say. If the combat did lean a little bit more God of War-ish, even like God of War before 2018, which I think that combat
Hmm.
is pretty damn good too. It's like the hack and slash. I think I would have preferred it a little bit more because I was going to wait to the end of this conversation, but it's at the top of my head. I I'm just curious what you think. I would honestly think this game would have been a bit more up my alley and maybe even up yours a little bit because I know you're a big Souls guy, but I think it would have been a little better if this was more of like a Devil May Cry,
Oh
God of
man.
War type, early God of War type
Yeah,
combat
yeah, yeah.
system. You know what I mean? Instead of like the Souls because we've gotten so many of those at this point.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
Maybe we go back to Devil May Cry, God of War, early days as
Well,
opposed
I
to
mean,
this. I like it
Dude,
like it is, but I'm just
hmm
saying, like, maybe it would have benefited from that, you know?
yeah, no, I mean, okay, so short answer, yes. I mean, I do crave some classic hack and slash. Now I've only gotten into those old school hack and slash games like recently, like 5 years ago when COVID started. I played all the Devil May Cry games from beginning to end, and then some years ago, I played all of the classic God of War games, and I really like him. I used to snob them a lot when I was like in high school, and I understand the error of my ways. I think they have much more depth than you think, and they can be fun. Even like God of War, when it's more mindless, it's just straight up fun. And
Hmm.
I would. I mean, it's a hard answer to it's a hard question to answer, right? Would this game have been better? Well, I don't know because I think this is just like intrinsic part of its DNA to be like a Souls-like, for lack of a better term. I think you would just have to make a completely different game for make it what we wanted. But yes, I actually did want a game like that, and I'm not faulting the game for not being
Hmm.
that.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but it is what I thought. I was not. I don't think I would have well, I mean, I guess I would have tried it, but I would have committed so much to it if I knew that it was the way it is.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for
I'm
that.
along for the ride.
I well,
No,
no, I apologize for it because because I really wanted to check it out because there was a lot of things I really liked and I still think I'm going to play it. I just can't
well,
guarantee
I'm
when
in for
that.
the ride now. Like I gotta,
Yeah.
like, there's no getting off of this train, so I want to see where it ends. But so no, no, don't worry. I mean, actually this is one of my favorite parts about this show that I do is it's playing things that I usually wouldn't. Because I can tell you, I wouldn't have played this if I was feeling like playing Souls like I would have played Life of Pi or whatever way before this game.
Life of Pi.
Yeah, Life of
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, but that's no shit on this game. Let me just make
no,
that clear,
absolutely,
because I
absolutely.
think there
Yeah.
are things that I do really like, and like I said, I still really, even though this combat is very Souls like, I really do like the combat, and now that I've put a lot of skill points into endurance on my stat
Hmm.
meter or whenever you upgrade your stats. I put a
Hmm.
strong focus in endurance,
Yeah,
and
the bonfire. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and my stamina is like through the roof. So I mean, I can dodge and block like all day. I think the only time I really have a problem with it is when I'm fighting a boss. But to go off what you were saying before about the boss fights, matter of fact, I'll go as far as saying I enjoy the boss fights even when I'm getting my balls scraped way more than fighting normal enemies. Because
Oh yeah.
that is another thing, and I'm glad you pointed that out. And just go back to things that I love about this show. You bring up things that I didn't mention before. The enemy types so far is kind of trash. I will say that
Right.
I don't feel like there's many enemy types right now. Right now, maybe it gets bigger later, but right
I
now,
would. I'm not so optimistic because I mean, when that is, but there's not much they can do, right? That this is just the kind of the game that it is. Like you got a small guy who attacks fast, you got a big guy that attacks slow, and you got a shit ton of health. And then you got the assholes in the back that keep either throwing arrows
yeah,
or
throwing shit
little
at you.
stones that explode. Yeah, I mean and that's it, right?
Mhm.
I mean, what else? How could you possibly mix it up, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I don't have too much fun against those. But maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe I should like change my approach because what was it? Oh, one thing that I want to say about the difficulty, dude. You have trouble with Elden Ring. This game, I feel, is much more like hardcore. Like this game is. I did not have as much trouble with Elden Ring, and that was years ago. I want to think that I only honed my abilities as a gamer further since then. This is hard. This is
Mhm.
actually hard. I mean, you said it. Like the bosses, but even normal enemies, they like kill you in 3 hits.
Yeah.
Like there is no there's no what do you say? No quarter, right? Um, you either keep blocking, have like a heavy tank build, and you keep blocking, or do what I do, and I like to deflect because it's cool, right? Or parry, I guess, right? not dodge, but block at the right time. You go shling,
Hmm.
break their
Yeah. What do
stance and all
you
that.
are you were you- have you been able to nail down the because maybe we're talking about the same thing,
Uh,
but I have a really hard time because we're playing on PS5, by the way. When
yeah.
you're when like so you can do your regular like hit L1 and block, or you can do L1 and circle at the same time,
Oh,
like
I'm
to
not
do
talking
like a
about that.
I
I'm not talking about
cannot
that.
I cannot get that down. Like I cannot. It's like you block and strike at the same time. It's not like a parry. It's like a it's you're blocking and striking. So instead of blocking
Yeah,
and
that's that.
then
Yeah,
doing a
that's like a
strike.
counter.
Yeah.
Well, I've only used it. There's some attacks that cannot be blocked or parried. You need to use a counter. Because like there's a symbol that appears on your character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Those
the
are
red.
those are the
Yeah.
yeah the only times that I've used a counter is during that, and I've been mostly been able to get it. But if I can brag for a moment, I think that one of the things I'm good at is timing. Like timing perfectly these things. I'm having a fairly easy time timing the parries too, right? Blocking at the right time with regular attacks. But I have not. I think I would have trouble if I tried to use a counter normally. So
Hmm.
my advice would be don't. It might be the wrong advice, but I think only use a counter when you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on that. I
Yeah.
just got to the point now where I was just doing the ting, just to just block at the
Hmm.
last moment, or just dodging right when they're going to
Or
attack, and
dodge. Yeah.
that's helped out a lot. Again, like I said though, on easy mode, which is hard to believe I'm saying that. It just seems like the damage output from the enemies, and so you do get that extra hit or two that extra hit or two you can take. But
Mm.
yeah, like you say, it's still pretty damn hardcore.
Yeah. Oh man, they'll
I
just
don't
gang
know.
up on you.
Yeah,
And
I
even
like I
the
said,
regular enemies, like I'm
yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh yeah, go ahead.
this happened. It's like fresh in my mind because I played it like a few hours before getting on stream.
That's right.
They uh you at some point you get into this mentality where you don't feel as tense against an enemy because you're already beaten it a lot of times, right?
Hmm.
So you're like, okay, I know this guy, right? It's almost like meeting an old friend. Yeah, I'm just gonna catch up now. But if you leave your guard, like if you underestimate an enemy, even like the basic mob, even for just a minute, he's gonna take advantage of that. He is at the very least gonna decimate your health bar.
Hmm.
It's no, it's I did not expect it, and that's why I was really curious because you were saying, I mean, we don't talk much about the games we plan on talking about on the show, but you were not complaining a lot, right, about the difficult. So I thought, okay, so what's happening, right? So Dylan keeps saying Elden Ring is too hard, but then he don't say anything about this. I mean, this is
Well,
uh,
I think it's a couple of things. A couple of things, yeah, like you said, to the people out there, we try not to talk about games we're going to talk about. Show. Like, if anything, I'm gonna be like, dude, like,
yeah,
and I might send gameplay or something.
just a dude,
Yeah, and then
and
maybe
that
like
kind of
a
conveys, yeah.
gameplay or a picture or something like that. But most of the time, yeah, I try to talk a lot about it. So that's the first thing. But the second thing was, I think what was helping me even before I dropped the difficulty down was the combat just felt heavy to me. It felt hefty. It
Hmm.
felt like it had some weight to it. And that is something like a big positive for me is I love feedback. I like feeling in the like it has pretty decent dual sense capabilities in this game,
Oh yeah.
which I'm really surprised about. But each strike feels like it feels good. Like even if I am killing the same thing that I've killed 15 times over, it feels
Hmm.
good to the combat just never got old to me. The only time it got old was like you said when you get surrounded. Um, when you get surrounded, you're pretty much fucked because it's like
It's
even if
so.
you try to get out the way, it's still like then but you try to hit uh dodge too many times and then you're over here and you get stunned and then even more of your health goes down. But that's why I didn't really complain about it. Also, another reason why I didn't complain was is it's a little bit of a pride thing, right? Like I
Hmm.
was the one that
Okay.
got you into this. I didn't want to talk about a Souls game because I knew it was probably going to have some difficulty. I just didn't know it was going to be to the this extent because it had Souls like capabilities, but I thought maybe honestly, I thought I was going to get more of a Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order,
Hmm.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I do pretty well in those games. I've actually gotten pretty decent at those games. I don't play on normal. I don't play the highest. I don't play as grandmaster, but I play pretty high on the difficulty on that, and I do pretty well. So I was like, if the combat is anything remotely close to that, I should be fine. But I just think what you're fighting against in this game, just they deal out so much damage, and their moves are so spammy sometimes
Oh yeah.
you're gonna get your ass kicked, and they are well designed. I don't feel like they're super cheap. The only time I ever really felt that way is when like I'm in a corner and the AI doesn't know I'm in a corner, but it detects that I'm right there at them, so they just keep throwing a move at me, and I can't get out the way. I have had that a couple times, but that's not necessarily cheap. That's just the way it happened. Just the way I never really truly felt like I died because of me. I died because of them. And I think at the end of the day, if I'm dying because his boss is just kicking my ass, that's good game design. But if I'm
Mm.
dying when I feel like I'm doing what I need to do, that's when it gets kind of frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's also subjective too, because a lot of people say, "Damn, this game sucks, and I suck at it, and this game's not fair." And it's like, well, is the game not fair? Are you trash at the game? And I think I'm in that middle ground area where I don't think I'm like even though I dropped it down to easy, I think I do okay. But I think at the same time, it really is the difficulty curve is super high, and
Oh no. I mean,
I don't I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna see this one through. I don't know. I
mhm.
still like it, and I'm right. Like I do want to play more, but I just think with everything else coming out, I'm thinking of all the fun that I could be having. In Kazan, I don't know if I'd have the most fun I could have. Does that make sense? Because like even with
Absolutely.
AC Shadows, that game is hard. I'm playing on expert. It is hard, but I think it's because I can go about missions in a different way. I can stealth. I can be off the top of a building, get down in some bushes, wait somebody passes, kill him, and then if I get spotted, it's like oh shit, now things are starting to get hard. But like in Kazan, you got to tackle things head on. So if it's hard, you
Hmm.
just got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Absolutely.
so I know this kind of shifted to like a negative way we're talking about the game, but I
Uh,
don't think I don't want to sound negative at all because I do like it, but it is a tough one to
no,
talk about.
I don't think we're shitting on the game. I think it's just we are admitting that this is not the game we were looking for, which is absolutely not. I mean, the game is not at fault.
I don't regret the money I've spent on it. By the way,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
regret
no,
that. I wanted to support it. I'm glad I did.
exactly. You know, it's obviously, you know, maybe a smaller team, you know, a franchise that I never heard of before. So I don't, yeah, I don't regret it. Um, one thing that I wanted to say because I feel like maybe I haven't, maybe I haven't like highlighted enough. I'm having a hard time. Like I'm
Mm.
just talking about how I beat those bosses. I'm having a hard time. Like both Viper was the first boss that I actually died to more times than I can count. Granted, I can't count that. I can count, but I don't count past 10. But
Yeah, I didn't think the
mhm,
snow. I didn't think the abominable
yeah,
snowman.
yeah, the Yeti.
Yatuga. I don't think Yatuga
How
or
do you
the.
remember these names?
I'm looking at a list.
Okay. Okay. Because
But
like
yeah,
I don't remember anyone's name except Kazan. Like not
I
the
know.
merchant, not the bard, not the
I know.
whomever, right?
I'm the same way, dude. That's why I'm looking it up.
Mm,
But
mm.
yeah, like I didn't think Yatuga was nearly that bad.
No.
The Blade Phantom was. Now
Okay.
this is all before I switched it to easy. By the way, so I beat both of these guys on normal, and
Mhm.
honestly, I didn't even think it was hard. But I was like, all right, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But then when you get to this fucker, Viper, this
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
right
Viper
here,
is a
man, like the
fucking.
first phase wasn't too bad. Like, okay, I could get to that. It's a second phase.
Ooh. I had, yeah, I mean, honestly, the very first time I beat the first phase, I thought that was it. Like, I was ready to, you know, kind of let a sigh and go. Then this guy starts transforming in a boss. I'm like, oh God. Like, please tell me this is like telling that I have to fight him again sometime later and not
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But no, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? But then, you survive and endure or whatever. Endure and survive, right?
Yeah, right.
Uh, this guy, the albino man, the guy with the anvil, that's what it's called,
Mm.
an anvil. Uh, the guy with the anvil, I, is like usually the way things go, at least for me, I don't know about you, but when I'm against a hard boss, I start seeing my progress with each attempt. Well, not with each attempt, but at some point I start seeing some progress, right? I mean, then if you get frustrated, obviously, as if all your skill gets drained. I don't know if you ever experienced that.
Hmm.
There's like, but usually, right? It's like an uphill, like it's an uphill battle, not an uphill battle, like it's an uphill movement, right?
Hmm.
Um, and and then you get to a point where I'm like, okay, I know I can do this. I just need to keep myself from messing up too many times.
Hmm.
And that's when the actual attempts, if you would, start. And usually when you get to those, even with Viper, I think I got at my third actual attempt, like attempt in when I actually felt I had the confidence that I could actually beat him. With this Anvil guy, I did not think I was gonna do it. Like I beat him, but I felt like KHAZAN, your cousins, he's like panting and everything. That's how I felt. And I went back like, oh shit.
Yeah, that
So
boss
no.
fight is
Mm.
annoying as hell too because the he would make the ground like inflamed, like engulfed in flame. So
I didn't
you had
even
to.
realize I was losing health.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even
Well,
realize. Like my guy just died.
he just
I was like,
oh
what the
okay.
fuck happened? I was like, what? He just
Man.
melts.
So you were that dialed in, huh? Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, dude,
yeah,
locked in.
yeah. That's a It was frustrating because like the thing is, Kazan moves pretty damn fast. Like especially when you're sprinting,
Relatively, yeah.
he's pretty
Okay,
fast,
yeah.
But like there's a ladder on the so like all right. So this is the thing that was pissing me off. Now we're gonna get into shit that actually sucks. So there was like a potion or antidote or whatever that I had that said fire
Fire resist.
resistance. What the
Yeah, I
that
use that
shit?
one too.
That didn't do shit. I was like, oh, so I died the first time. I got pretty far, and then I
Uh-huh.
died. I was like, okay, oh, okay. So the ground was inflamed, so I need
Uh-huh.
fire resistance, and then I can fight it. And in the description, it says if you drink this, you'll be fire resistant to whatever areas you're in. I'm like, okay, that
Hmm.
sounds pretty cool. So I did that right as the battle started, and I'd be damned if I still didn't die. And by the way, before you say anything, I still made sure it has at the very you got your health bar and your
Uh-huh.
stamina on the bottom of the screen in the middle.
Hmm.
Right under that, it has like what status effects you have. So like if you have any buffs, if you
Uh-huh.
drank a
Uh-huh.
potion or whatever, it said that I had the fire resistant potion. Like I was still under that
Hmm.
spell or whatever you want to say,
Yeah, under that effect,
and
yeah.
it still wasn't. I was still dying. I was getting clapped in like as soon as
Are you talking about like when he like engulfs in flames the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
entire
yeah,
plat?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think at that point, I mean, I just run. I
yeah.
go
Me
because
too.
there are
Yeah,
like two platforms. I
yeah.
think that's. I mean, I think that the fire resist. I I can't tell with confidence that it did help me much. It was at the very least a good placebo because I wasn't trying to defend myself from that, like from the fire floor, when the floor is lava thing. I was trying to defend myself by the because since I block a lot, that's my main thing. I parry. When you parry an attack with the fired up anvil, he goes like bang, and then the anvil gets fired up. When you even if you parry or block that attack, you still take some damage. Not as much, but you still take some. And that's what I was trying to mitigate. That's the damage that I was trying to mitigate.
Yeah.
And maybe it helped. I honestly didn't see much of a difference, but I thought it was just me. Now you're telling me the same.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I'll.
It instantly did much. And yeah, it took me like 5 or 6 tries to be like, oh yeah, let's just try to climb up the ladder. Well, the first two or
Mhm.
three times I fought him, I could climb up that ladder no problem, and then wait for him to come up to the platform.
Mhm.
Excuse me, but he was getting to the point, man, that I would wait for him to attack. I would jet to the
Uh
ladder to climb up it, and I'd be damned if that motherfucker's not breathing down my shoulder and slaps me off the ladder. I was like, are you gotta be
well,
kidding me, man? This is
well,
easy mode.
okay.
Give me a couple seconds,
Well,
please.
that's what I was saying at the beginning, right? It's pretty much the same experience. Just, well, I mean, what I did is I would only try to get for a ladder when he would go for the attack that engulfs the platform with flames. Because he's stuck for a second there. I don't know if you noticed, but after he does that, he's trying to get the anvil out of the floor. It's very Looney Tunes esque. He goes like, "Oh man, oh shit." So that was my cue to go. Oh fuck, let's go to those. Let's go. Let's just for the latter.
Yeah, but and I did try. Well, that's the thing. It seemed like he was just breathing down my neck every second, and
Hmm.
how it is in this game for sure. Like if you
Uh,
don't have your feet planted and get ready to block, and you're sprinting, so you're using stamina,
oh
you're
yeah,
gonna end
you're
up
dead.
putting yourself in a stasis where he'll get a free hit, and that one hit, even on easy mode, will slap your entire health bar.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, for those who don't haven't played this, pretty much this is one of the games where if your standing bar gets depleted, your your guy just stays there for what feels like an eternity, just waiting, to get ravaged
Yeah,
by whichever enemy comes his way.
yeah. That's the one thing that it does annoy me. Like I'm not one of those that like I hate stamina bars in games. I'm not gonna go as far as that, but I will say I do appreciate ones that don't because
Hmm.
it does make you a little bit more methodical on how many attacks or how you should throw an attack. But in situations like this where just leave yourself wide open, get slapped. And I mean that is user error, right? If you're not paying attention to
Hmm.
your
Right, of
to your
course.
stamina. I think it's a good part of it. But I will say I do appreciate the ones that don't have it. And Shadows does not have it. This is actually the first Assassin's Creed game that doesn't have it because I want to say in the new trilogy of games
Okay, yeah, I was getting
because
confused. Okay.
I think maybe Origins didn't have a stamina bar, but Odyssey definitely had one, and Valhalla definitely had one for sure.
Hmm.
And Valhalla was really bad about that too. That game was not hard at all, but if you left yourself open, take a hit. I mean, it's pretty much like one hit. But the difficulty curve in Shadows is actually really nice, and I like being challenged. But to the extent of Kazan, that's just a whole bigger other like a whole other challenge. That I just where I currently sit, I don't think I'm done with the game. But if I don't pick it up anymore for a while, I think I'm okay with it.
You're okay. You'll survive.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Like, I don't feel like I have to see this one through. I did my part. I bought it. I love everybody involved. Ben Starr, if you happen to be upon the Deadhead podcast, I love you, brother. I'm gonna follow your work. Expedition 33 comes out. You're in it
Yeah, the guy's
all
everywhere.
day,
The new Troy Baker.
dude. I'm telling you, man.
Have you seen, since we're talking about him, have you seen, like, I think that's the Square Enix social media pages posted this video where it's him, and then start talking about, like, well, supposedly his list of, like, must-play RPGs. Have you seen that?
Of who of Ben Starr saying
Ben
that
Starr. Yeah, it's Ben Starr. It's him.
must play. I know he's a big
Yeah, I had
Final Fantasy.
something along those lines. He says,
Yeah.
"Oh, these are unbanned star. These are 5 RPGs you won't gonna miss.
No,
Number
what did he
one."
say?
I don't remember. Uh,
I
I,
know
I mean,
Final Fantasy 8 is like his or 9. One of those is like his favorite Final Fantasy. I'm pretty
it
sure I've
might be
seen it
eight.
like
It
that.
might be eight, which I respect, but it's I'll never understand that. Final Fantasy 8 might be among my least favorites,
Hmm.
and it's not okay. We're not gonna get in. We're not opening that kind of worms, but it's But yeah, I mean, I do like parts of it. I do like some of it, but it's just, I think it's not that I find it's bad. It's just, well, you know what? Let's
It's
just
I got you. Just
let
come out
them
and
back
say it,
at
dude.
that.
Have some
I don't
balls.
know.
Just say
I
it.
no, 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 I'm not, no, I'm not gonna cave and say that it's bad. No, it's the, the junction system is, r- I think, not very fun. I think it makes the game pretty unfun.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I said, like after played a bit around with it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow a guide so I can get through this as fast as possible because you don't know what I'm talking. Do you know about the junction system?
I've heard about it. I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah,
I never played. That was one I never got
I mean,
into.
okay, you know what? I don't mind the crypticness of it. What I mind is that pretty much at more points in the game, even more if you're not following a guide, right? If you're following around, you got to do this all the time. You gotta get into fights and start draining. There's a special command called drain. You gotta drain enemies of their magic, and each enemy has a special type of magic.
Hmm.
And I mean, if you want to play optimally, you gotta stack that shit up. You gotta keep going till you got 99 of that magic, and then you get to the next enemy. You drain 99 of his magic, And that magic are like normal magic attacks, like like fire, blizzard, thunder, heal, cure,
Mhm.
the works. And you gotta every time you use one of those spells, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to drain this. Like I'm gonna have to grind to get back to 99. Because why wouldn't you, right? Anything below 99 is unoptimal because you junction the magic to certain stats, I believe. And that's how much of that magic you got, and which magic you're junctioning to which stat, you can get a pretty hefty bonus.
Right.
I don't know how that can be fun. I really don't. Like Final Fantasy X, like I spent some time ranting about it, but I can see, like, if you know the ins and outs of that system, I can see how it could be fun to like start a fresh new game, a fresh save file, and like play around with it, especially when you're like on the expert sphere grid. I understand that. I do not understand Final Fantasy VIII. I really don't.
Right.
And the
Hmm.
story didn't even keep me hooked for that long. The
Mm.
premise, I mean, with every Final Fantasy, the premise is cool, and at some point it loses me. Final Fantasy VIII loses me very soon, like very. Oh yeah, and without going into spoilers, the big twist, like, because every FF game needs a big twist, every RPG, if you would, needs a big twist by the end. Big twist of FF8 is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like even if playing like an anime-esque RPG, like video game, fantasy video game, it stretches. I know. I'm sorry. I'm talking about FF8 along, but like it's just I don't even know how to say this. Like I'm sounding inarticulate, but it's
You're
just,
just making me upset because we were almost about to have him on the show, and you're talking about his favorite game. Now you
oh
probably want to come
man,
on the
Shay,
show.
you're so, oh man, it's
That
all my
sucks.
fault. Well, no, I actually welcoming him. Please, Ben Star, tell me why you like FF8 so much, and try. I would love to hear you with your sweet buttery voice. I would love to hear you try to defend
You're really not
that
helping
plot
the case
twist.
of trying to get him on the
And
show
then
because now you're
no, I
saying some
want.
weird.
I don't mean, well, I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, he really does. He knows. I mean, he does. I can see it in his eyes.
You can see it in his eyes. You can
Yeah.
see it in his smile.
Yeah.
uh,
Um,
yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. I think a lot of
but
people, I think a lot of people would probably disagree with you, but
mhm,
I think that's completely okay.
yeah, I appreciate
I
that.
support you for not thinking it's all that and a bag of potato chips.
That's
But
thank you.
uh,
So
but back to
sorry to
Kazan.
interrupt you. Oh, we're
Uh,
going back to Kazan. Okay.
well, just closing thoughts on Kazan because
Closing
I
thoughts.
got another topic I want to bring to your attention before we leave
Oh,
from
I
the
hope
show.
it's the same that I'm thinking about.
Oh, it might be. Let's
Yeah,
see.
it probably is.
Closing thoughts on Kazan, man. I think that it is a decent game. I wish it was more God of War slash Devil May Cry ish. I would have
Yeah.
liked that a little bit
Hack and
better.
slashy,
I think it would have had a bit more like cool customization with the abilities. I think you could have put a lot of enemies on screen. I love the art style. I think they could have done a lot with it. And they probably still do quite a bit with it. I want to give it every benefit of the doubt. I'm still glad I've supported it. And to everybody involved, I appreciate you making the game because I'm very appreciative of those types of things. And for a small studio, I think it's got a lot of big aspirations. I don't think it gets all of those, but I think there's the type of game it is. But will I go back to it? I don't know. We got a lot of games coming out. I'm playing Shadows right now. We got Expedition 33. We got freaking Mind's Eye. We got Death Stranding 2. We got Mafia Old Country. We have Doom the Dark Ages. I mean, I can keep going and going and going and going and going because this year is unbelievable with the amount of games. Might be the most expansive year in games we've had in a long time. So I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it right away, but I can see myself coming back to it at some point or another. Maybe when the dust settles, not a whole lot coming out. I might come back to it. I might even still play it some over the next couple of weeks, but as of right now, I can probably leave it where it's at and be fine with it.
respect. Yeah, I'm pretty much, I agree. Uh, I'm probably gonna see it through. You know me. Especially because I am having fun with it. I really am,
Mm-hmm.
despite everything I said. And I mean, one thing you didn't say, yes, I don't like the stages themselves as much, but they are really short. Except for like the temple one is pretty long. I mean, I'm sure there'll be long ones in the future, but they're not. They don't get to the point where they're like annoying or boring. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I can't wait to get to the boss fight, which I think is a good thing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. The boss fights are
yeah,
definitely a
no,
highlight for sure. They are a highlight.
art style is cool. I might even, I'm not optimistic, but I'm ready to be blown by certain plot developments. I don't know. Maybe I like certain. Maybe it's like a cool cutscene. Uh, maybe I'll find something like the story too.
Hmm.
Definitely, and I feel that I'm also gonna have fun, trying different weapons because I tried to dual, the axe and other weapon that goes with the axe, like a dual wield. I was having fun with that. I did not have fun with the spear, but I don't know. Maybe I should give it another try. There's a lot of things that I haven't tried yet, and I can't wait to fight an enemy that will actually make me rethink my strategy
Hmm.
and my ways to this game combat. That's what the fun of these games is. So yeah, fun game, definitely.
Well, if you do continue it, and like I said, I'm not saying I won't. But whenever we do, I hope we can come back to it and talk about where
Oh,
how far we've
definitely.
gotten and where we're at. Because like I said, I think it's definitely
Whichever my
deserving.
opinion is, yeah.
For sure, I think it's deserving of a playthrough. I just at this moment in my life, I mean, Jan knows what I've had
Mm-hmm.
going on. I've talked about it here on the show. I just cannot guarantee putting a bunch of time into this game and not having a lot of time as it is because it's just different now. You know what I mean? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling
Of
you
course.
and anybody else here who's not married and doesn't have a kid, I love my life. I love my baby girl. I love my wife, but it is a bit harder to play for a long period of time, especially now, working. I've cut back on my workload, but I've also taken on some more. So it's like I have a little bit more free time, but I don't have a lot of free time. So it's like when you only limit it to a day or two off, and then you're working as much as I am, and there's people that work way more than I do, so I don't take it for granted. I get to come on to my family every night, so I'm very blessed. But with that being said, it is harder to play games. It just is. And so when I'm playing a game, I really want to enjoy it. I want to feel like I'm getting something out of it. And I think that's why I've never been super into the Souls games, even though I appreciate the absolute shit out of them. And I've said it a bunch of times. I love what these games are. I do. I like that their identity. I like they're not trying to change it, even though I've seen some small things with Elden Ring, Night
Yeah,
Ring.
yeah,
I have
it's
seen a few
small,
things with
huh?
that. It's a little weird, but other than that, they've stuck to their formula and they've really committed to it. And I got to applaud them for that. I think it's awesome. I have not been able to really sink my teeth into it. Maybe one day when I'm retired and I don't have to work anymore,
No, that
maybe
would
I
be
can
fun, huh?
really get into them. But right now, it's
Yeah, sure. Like 50 years from now, we'll be
yeah.
sitting doing this show. We'll be going, Dylan finally
He
goes
finally
Souls
beats
side.
Elden
Yeah,
Ring. And look, I'm still not against buying Elden Ring Night Rain either. I just don't know when that's going to be because I think with everything coming out, I have to prioritize. Okay, where is this going?
of course.
We talking about it on the show, but I'm definitely still for this. So, but with that being said, though, I think that's the end of the Kazan conversation.
It
I
is.
hope it's still an ongoing conversation in the future, though. But I'll definitely let y'all know, and we'll let the people know as we get farther into it. But with that being said, next topic of conversation. I didn't put this in the thumbnail because it's literally just happened a couple days ago. And I got a feeling I know what yawn is, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. And then yawn's like, "What the fuck, man?" So
Well, I mean,
does
I don't want to
does
do
the
that either.
topic start with the letter N?
Yeah, yes,
N as
N
in
or
Nancy.
S, N or S, right?
N or S?
Like possibly with a
Oh,
number at
yeah,
the end
yeah,
of it.
okay,
Probably with a number
okay.
at the end of
The
it.
Nintendo Switch 2 and
Yeah, that's
Nintendo
the
in
one,
general.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah, holy crap, man. I mean, holy shit, dude. Nintendo, I tell you one thing, they got some big ass balls. Their
Yeah,
balls
they are.
are hairy, they're fat, they are huge, man. Like they
I
are like crazy.
they yeah, off the rocker, off the rocker.
$80, $80 for look, listen, if you like Mario, I like Mario Kart, okay? I do. 80 fucking dollars? Are you and then these sons of bitches have this thing that go like, "Oh, well, in this one, this is like an open world Mario Kart, so you can just drive wherever you want to." I'm like, "Okay, and then what?" I see the gameplay. It looks so empty. It looks so shallow. So I'm paying eighty
But
dollars just to drive around this empty ass open world. Can't do anything else. Like, dude, get out of here with
man,
that
I mean,
bullshit.
we are like laughing here, but I'm actually scared
I am too.
because Nintendo fans are clinically insane, and I think that as much as they're complaining on social media, like sales are not gonna go down.
No, no.
Nintendo is gonna get away with this,
Yep.
and its competitors are gonna look at, hey, well, we want a piece of that pie as well, and they start raising their prices, and it's just vicious cycle of just that. And by the end of it, I mean, you said $80, dude. Over here, it's €90,
Yeah,
and
it's
think that
crazy.
€1
Well,
is like the
for
value
the
of a euro is
physical,
higher
right?
than the dollar.
But
Yeah,
for
for
the
the
physical
physical.
copy, yeah,
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 but it's
physical. I didn't even
like
talk about that. The physical copy's $90 over here.
yeah, yeah, 90. Like I'm like, okay, so I have like a Persona 5 collector's edition. We had a bunch of goodies. It had like a CD with with a bunch of some tracks in it. I had an artwork hardcover, big like this artwork. I'm not talking about the Persona 3 one. There was like a mask thing that I didn't care about, and a steel book, all that. You know how much that cost?
How much?
€90.
Yes, sir.
Now Nintendo is trying to sell me like just a piece of like the game, right? Just a plastic cover with a little cartridge in it for the same price.
Nuts.
Have Where is this work coming to?
You
Like,
already know. You already know because you know the age we're in. You already know there's not going to be any like artwork in it. You already know there's not going to be a
oh no.
manual. And I even found out too, which I mean, this is no surprise because I'm pretty sure this how. Correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure when you buy a game physically, let's say you weren't near let's say you weren't near Wi-Fi, you were in the middle of
hmm
nowhere. You got your PS5 and a TV with you, and you
hmm
probably got electricity somewhere, I guess.
All right,
But
yeah,
you
generator there,
but
yeah.
you hook everything up. You don't have internet still, but you put in Persona
hmm
3 Reload disc version in your console. Does the game
Yeah.
play or no?
Well, it does. It does. I know where you're getting at. It
Okay, so it
does.
does. Okay, all right.
No, no, no. The games do start. Well, I mean, it would be public outrage if it didn't. But what is a problem is that usually developers, they put it like what they call a day one patch, which is what it means is that the game that's printed on the disc is incomplete, and you gotta like get this day one patch to get the full game. And this doesn't sound like much, but usually there's a lot of difference. I mean, even companies that I like do this, like From Software, Elden Ring. Try playing it like pre-patch, like just the base 1.0 disc version. It's completely different. Uh, some weapons are missing. Some items are in completely different locations. The HUD looks different because it's like a beta build.
Mm,
And a bunch of games are like this. And some games aren't even complete with a 1.0 patch, as we know, right? The big Ubisoft, and all those. I mean, those games aren't complete after like 5 patches. So what you have on disc is like a license. You have
right.
a license. It's to be no different from having the game digitally. I mean, slightly different, right? Because what happens when the servers go down and you can't download the patch? What then? Then you're stuck with this unfinished version of the game
Right, right.
that
Because
costs
that's
ninety
that's
dollars at
because
launch.
because that's what I read. I read that the like even if you buy the physical, it still acts like a digital game. So like it doesn't have the same.
Yeah, well, I mean that's in one sense it's a good thing because the disc is only needed like to install the game. Then the console just runs it like without reading it from the disc, which is a good thing because that's why the load times are much faster. Remember the PlayStation 3 days? Those load times were like horrendous.
Hmm.
Then PS4 came around. That's when they started doing that. So that's
Yeah,
a good thing. I think that's a good. The bad thing is that not everything is on the disc. That's the bad thing.
yeah, yeah. So I bet. I mean, that's still like just like in all seriousness, man. It is kind of like I know we're pretty much out the physical. I've pretty much all but abandoned it at this point because a lot of
hmm
my excuse me, a lot of my games that I've been getting them digital. If I really like them, if I really like these games, I'll definitely get the physical because I just want to support it, and I want my own copy uh, on the disc. You know, so I've already kind of more in that digital age anyway. That's why I got the PS5 Pro, and then I bought the disc drive because I still want to have that option. But I have moved more digital. But this does really suck though because this really is this. I know we've kind of been this more digital only thing for a while, but this really put the nail in the coffin, in my
It
opinion, when you
really
get
did,
to this
yeah.
point. But it's just asinine to me. $80 for these games on Switch, dude. These games look and run the shittiest, but they're $80. That's what's crazy to me. I like Mario. I don't have an issue with Mario or Zelda or Metroid or any of those games. But to tell me that these games are this fucking expensive and look this PS2 ish in mind, it just doesn't I don't understand where the
Yeah.
cost comes there. The only thing I can think of is that unless you do an emulator on PC, this is the only
Hmm.
place you can play them is on Nintendo, and that's
Pretty
where they
much.
get a lot. That's where they think that they got these big balls that they can raise the prices like they do. But
Hmm.
that is nuts, man. You're gonna pay $450 for a console and then another $80 for the game. Now, here's the thing: I did see that they do have bundles where it's like 450 to $500 bundles
Yeah.
where you'll get the game for like 30, you'll get Mario Kart for like $30 cheaper. That's obviously the way to go, but at the same time, dude, I can't believe Mario Kart's $80. $90 if
Yeah.
you want the physical. That is
I mean,
crazy.
I mean, the fuck the Mario Kart is that price. That means that that's the standard, right?
And that's where yeah,
Dude,
right, exactly.
dude. Okay, not even that. Zelda, right? Breath of the Wild, game from 2017. It got like a Switch to upgrade, pretty much like the PS5 upgrades we get. That's also 90.
Yeah.
That is also at 90, dude.
Yeah.
2017. And the worst thing is that Nintendo games, they don't go down in price.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next.
They
Yeah. They don't lose
yeah, they really
value ever.
don't. Yeah, try, I don't know what's like Returnal, right? That's a first party Sony title, right? Only on PS5, well on PC, like a console exclusive. You can get it for like what, $20 now?
$20 now, yeah.
Yeah, and
I got the
again,
deluxe
Breath of the
version for
Wild,
like $27, I think a year or
right?
so ago. Yeah.
And Breath of the Wild, the original Switch release from 2017. I mean, you gotta fight like your teeth and nails to get it for 50, I think,
Yeah,
right?
$50. Yeah, max, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's terrible.
It's sad
Terrible.
because, like you say, it's like how far is it before we do start seeing this in other companies? I mean, we have to start seeing it. I mean, look, everybody's already said we're almost positive GTA 6 is probably going to be anywhere between $80 to $100.
Hmm.
And you know what? I'm gonna spend that because I want to play it. But I'm part of the problem of these people. Like it's almost a point now is I saw somebody make a video. I don't like saying this word, but it's funny. They said, "Is gaming cooked? Is gaming cooked? Like
It's
is it
gaming
over?"
cooked.
Because of
You're
just
so cooked, huh?
because of how expensive it is. Like, is it even worth it anymore? Like, what is the bang for your buck? And for me, I'll spend $80 if it's like a special edition for a game. Like we're talking about the first Berserker today. That game
Mhm.
was $60 for the base game. And I think I
Yeah,
spent
same.
70
60.
for the special edition because I wanted to play it a couple days earlier and I wanted all the stuff that came with it. That's fine. I don't have any issue with that. But when you're going to make the base $80 to $90, and then
Then what does the
GT
deluxe cost?
exactly, it's probably like 100,
You
20,
know,
130 bucks.
like what are we? And I mean, this is supposed to be a I mean, this is supposed to be a hobby that is getting more and more mainstream, right? But now it's gonna become elitist at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like only like fucking rich people are gonna be able to play video games. I mean, how sad is that? And
Yeah,
you know
very
what's
sad.
even more ridiculous is that you and I are both mainly console players, right? That's because, I mean, partly you can correct me on this, but one of the big reasons is affordability, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Because these consoles, these are computers which cost much less than a gaming PC,
much less. Yeah,
and with some cutbacks. But uh, you have this good ratio between price and quality. That's what a console is, right?
that's right.
Uh, but that goes out of the window if the games for these consoles are so expensive. Then I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're pretty much losing one of the big reasons to play on console.
Yeah,
I mean, if it really goes into this dystopic future that we're like imagining, I'm gonna have to go PC full time.
Hmm.
I mean, you're just gonna have to at some point, right?
Yeah, you would, because I think it'd be, yeah, it's especially with like I know I'm sure you looked at it some. I know we're not the biggest PC guys, but like Steam, which at that point you'd be just digital at
Hmm.
that point, right? Like,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it's like if you look on Steam, they do have like the best. Like you can get classic games for like $5 to $10 over there. You know, like
Yep.
before they ever come down in price over here. But yeah, like you
And
say,
they
it's
go on
like,
sale all the time.
yeah, like you say though. I just there's not much worth in even like I don't know. Like it's tough because so we've talked about this before. Like I've played games for a long time. I mean, a long time. I didn't really get into like the variety of games I played. Like get into more like diverse genres and stuff till like I was probably like early 20s, because like I grew up in a household we didn't have a lot of money, and then like
Hmm.
I moved out on my own when I was 18, so like I had to pay bills, and like I didn't have a lot of money to buy games, and I didn't really start getting to more diverse games until like my early 20s. Like I want to say like I got my first like big boy job when I was 19, and I do this because it was kind of like I could have taken it further than what I wanted to, but I didn't know what I wanted at the job. And then by the time I was like 2021, I started getting to more like different types of games, because I knew Assassin's Creed, I knew Uncharted, and Call of Duty. Those are the main games that
Hmm.
I bounced between. I didn't really play Call of Duty like that because it was just like something that a lot of guys over here in the States, they like Call of Duty, so we were playing it.
Oh yeah.
That and Halo, things like that. But I was always a PlayStation guy, so I couldn't really play Halo as much. But anyway, I'm giving you this exposition just to say that like I've been playing games for a long time, and I've spent a ton of money on this hobby between this PC I'm talking to you through now, the cameras, microphone, because for the gaming stuff, for the channel, consoles, controllers. I mean, I have a ton. I mean, I know it's kind of dark in this room, but I got a ton of controllers, special editions, things like that. And I'm sure, and I know because we did a whole collection episode. I know you got a lot of shit too. We got a lot of stuff in this hobby. We've invested a lot of time and money into this. But I'm gonna tell you, if it keeps going up the way it is, uh, it's gonna be harder to keep this as something I enjoy doing. It just is, because
Uh,
it's I've already spent a lot of money, so I'll do it for a little bit longer depending on what comes out. Especially when you get games like GTA 6, you get games like Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater, you get games like freaking Mafia Old Country. And you can go down the line. These games that I know are going to be to the highest. Death Stranding 2 games are going to be to the highest tier, but these other smaller ones, the first Berserker, if that was like 80 to 90 bucks,
no
it's like
way,
I'm
man.
not buying that shit full price. Just for the base game. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be harder to keep up with it. I'm gonna be honest with you, and everybody who watches, it would be harder. But I've said it a billion times. Like if I didn't buy another game from now for the next like 5 years, I'm probably fine because I got so many games to go back
Yeah.
to. I don't
Yeah.
really need to. It's just now it's like I'm seeing shit that I really want to play. But yeah, it kind of makes
I
me
mean,
sad talking about it. But I'll be honest with you, if it goes up like this, it's going to be hard to spend that money. It's going to be really
I
hard to
mean,
do that.
no, there's gonna be a change of habits for sure. Like
Yeah.
for sure, like me too. Like I don't earn much. I earn like next to nothing, and after bills and everything, I struggle. I mean, that collection you saw. I mean, it is big, but it's big because for one reason only. It's been building for over 10 years, and I don't like to sell my games.
Hmm.
There's no reason why it's that big. I mean, usually I only get like what, five, 6 games per year. Unless I
Right.
go on a flea market binge or something like that, which doesn't happen
Yeah.
that often lately. So
Yeah.
no, yeah, it does suck because yeah, sure, we got a bunch of older games to play, sure, and that is great. So I'm not complaining about that, but with any medium, right? With any hobby, you wanna be in the, how do you say? You wanna keep up, right? You wanna be
Hmm.
adjourned. You wanna be what's new. You wanna be part of the discourse, right?
Hmm.
You don't wanna be left behind. I mean, that's just really about any hobby, like about humans in general. We are a social being. We have to be part of a community. If you are cut off again by something was economic, right, by an economic situation that cuts you off from, being able from really be part of this discourse or these discussions, that really sucks. I
Hmm.
mean, are we reverting back to like what, to the times where like there were peasants and aristocrats? Are we becoming classist societies again?
Hmm.
When we're talking about freaking video games, like have we gone mad, right? This
Yeah.
is
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's the thing. Like, me and you are not. We have not been. We've been nice about it, but we haven't held back on the Xbox slander here and there. I'm an Xbox guy. I have an
right,
Xbox.
right.
But I will
I
say the
respect it,
best
yeah.
bang for your buck is Game Pass.
Game
You
Pass.
pay $16 a month, which seems expensive, but Doom: The Dark Ages on there,
Yeah, a
full
bunch of
game.
day one releases.
Freaking
Yeah.
South of Midnight. Now, I don't really care about that game that much. I like the stop motion stuff. Have you seen the gameplay to that South of Midnight?
That's not the Midnight Walk, is it?
No, that does look good,
Yeah.
but it just looks interesting. I don't know if I'll play it, but it does look interesting. But South of Midnight is about like it's like based in New Orleans, and you play as this girl. I'm
Okay.
assuming she's like in like maybe
Let me
she's
check it.
16 or 17, but she's like a weaver, is what they call her, and she has like these two hooks that she uses in combat. It looks kind of like arts.
Oh, I saw
Yeah,
gameplay of that. No, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would even be interested in playing that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was watching some game. I was watching the legend, the Rad Brad playing it yesterday while I was
Oh
eating some supper,
man.
and
Ooh, okay.
I'm not really as much into it, but I will say it's definitely intriguing. That's on Game Pass day one. Atom Fall. That's like a Fallout Metro
Yeah, I know
type
about
game.
Adamfall. Yeah.
Awesome. Like the game looks okay, but dude, that's day one though. I don't have to pay. The only thing that sucks is I don't like the Xbox controller all that much because I think the sticks are way too loose. But that's a whole other topic.
Mm-hmm.
But Doom,
Yes.
that one, and then Adamfall. Indiana Jones was day one on there.
Yeah, a bunch of like
Avowed was day one on there. Like
Persona 3 Reload was
Persona
day
3 Reload
one.
was on there day one. Like, dude, it's a
Uh,
really huge bang for your buck, man. Like,
it
it's
really
there's
is.
no denying it.
No, I mean it's great. Yeah, no, I think that Xbox has managed to find its place in the gaming community because I think what would be great, right, about having all these options, right? You got PC, you got PlayStation, you got Xbox, is that you get something else from a different experience for each one, and you kind of choose which one caters most to you.
Hmm.
I don't really like subscriptions,
Yeah, I don't either.
uh,
I
so
got too
so
many
that's
of them.
why, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I feel like classic discourse. We're in the age where you don't own anything, you only are subscribed to things, and all that. I That's why I'm not really enticed by Xbox or Game Pass. But hey, if you are, all the power to you. That's great.
But here's a good thing about it, though. What you could do is, and what I've done in the past is, like, if I'm playing a game on Game Pass and I really like it,
You buy the
most time I'll
physical.
buy it. Yeah, I'll buy the
Yeah,
physical
yeah,
because I'll at least like support it. Like Doom: The Dark Ages. I got that, which I bought that one on PlayStation because I want to play with the DualSense. But like, if I didn't want to do that, I could easily play it on Game Pass if I liked it, and then
yeah.
get a copy off Xbox. And it's really cool to have that option. I think Xbox right now, it's hard not to make the argument that they are kind of consumer. Oh, Starfield. How
Funding.
to forget about Starfield? Starfield's on there. And then there's a rumored Oblivion remake is coming. It's rumored.
Mm-hmm.
And if that comes out, that's day one in Xbox. And I think that's
Probably.
really cool. I think that's cool that they're doing that. These big budget games are able to put that on there. So
No, no, for
shout out to
sure.
Xbox.
No, definitely, definitely. I Yeah, again, they still like, yeah. I mean, even in this day, they only hear one negative thing. It's not really a negative thing. It's again, it's a thing of preference, but they still don't have like everything. Uh, because now we're not in the age of exclusive wars. We are in the age of console exclusives,
Hmm.
right? So there's still some things that are on like Switch and PlayStation that are not on Xbox, or just on Switch and just on PlayStation. That's my only. But yeah, everything you said is right. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like if you play on Xbox, I totally get it.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame, and it is like not to make
It is.
this depressing part of the show, but it does it's something you got to think about a little bit more because like it is. I mean, Jan and I are different parts of the world, and I think the economy on both sides effed right now, and I think
Yeah.
just with the
We know
amount.
who to thank for that, don't
Yeah, I
we?
mean, yeah, I mean, there's several people involved for that, and I think
Oh, definitely
we're
more than
dealing
one.
with it,
Yeah.
and then also I'm trying to raise a family, and that's not cheap. So it's I do
That's
have to
scary too.
I got to think about it a little bit harder, you know. And I've pre-ordered a lot these past few months because I've
Hmm.
just been really excited. Now, thank God for credit cards, and
Yeah.
I've been able, I try to
God bless
manage it.
PayPal.
I try to manage them smart. You know, I try not to, just
Hmm.
buy shit and not pay it back. So, we're trying to do things there. But if I didn't have credit cards, like these wouldn't be getting pre-ordered right away. I can tell you that because it's a lot of money up front. And but look, man, we're gonna try to keep this train rolling, dude. We got a lot of exciting things coming for this show. I know that Expedition 33 is one we definitely keeping our eyes on.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Um,
super curious about that
dude,
one. I can't
I
wait to
am
play
too.
that
I
one.
am too. I hope I have the time to put the appropriate time into it because I think it's
Hmm.
deserving of that. I think it's doing
Oh yeah.
things that are different. Yeah, it's turn based. We've seen that, but it looks like it's got its own twist to it, which I really like. Um, and just the world looks interesting. I know the voice acting is going to be top
Hmm.
tier. Like, they got the guy, they got Charlie Cox from Daredevil. They got Daredevil himself as like the
Oh.
main character. See, in
Oh
the
man.
English, with the
Okay.
English dub, that is.
I mean, I mean, I'm probably gonna play that in English, right? I mean, that is an English game, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's right.
English speaking game.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, but it's got a lot
Uh,
of things going for it, man. And it's a small studio too. So that's another thing that we were talking about with Kazan. Like it's a lot. It's really cool to see these smaller studios take on these
yeah,
bigger projects. So
for
but
sure,
we got that. We got I know I'm really excited about Doom: The Dark Ages. I know we're probably not going to do an episode on that here, but
yeah,
I'll definitely get my first impressions of that whenever
for
an
sure.
episode is close to that.
Yeah, we got some games that
Yeah,
either one or the other doesn't play. Like I'm probably gonna play Night Train. But yeah, it is not. There is things to look forward to for sure.
yeah. We got to do a Death Stranding one
Oh, Death Stranding
retrospective
too.
at some point.
Yes, and then Death Stranding too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
I've already got
definitely.
that one pre-ordered. I've already got it pre-ordered, and I have this.
Yeah.
I did spend the extra money and get the special edition so I can play it a few days early. So I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to
got the
get.
digital. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. I'm trying to get the jump on you so I can put a couple hours into it before you play.
Yeah, sure thing. I mean,
So
it helped this time, right?
yeah, yeah, it
I
did
mean, I
help.
started playing this game like what on Wednesday? Not
Yeah, I think that's
Wednesday
when you
last
told
week.
me.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's when you told me you want to take a little break from Final Fantasy X and
Mm-hmm.
get into it. So, and that's one hell of a game to go
Yeah.
from Final Fantasy X to that. But anyway, I think that's the show. I think that's all we got. So
Definitely.
Kazan, good experience. We're gonna go on our
Definitely,
own
yeah.
journeys with it and see what we can do. And then Nintendo is some
Fuck you.
crazy. Yeah, fuck them guys. It's crazy how bullheaded they've gotten, and they're already their accessories are already expensive. Their controllers are super ass expensive and
Yeah,
suck
imagine
ass.
like I can't even. Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine how much it would cost to buy like a
Dude,
launch the
dude, we didn't
console,
even talk about
the
the
accessories.
Joy Cons. The Joy Cons are $90 a piece now for the Switch 2.
They no.
Yeah, dude, $90, $90. And you know what the bad thing
Yeah.
about it is? I didn't have this issue with mine because I don't know what people do with their controllers that fuck them up so bad. I feel like I
Oh yeah,
play
like all the
pretty.
people that talk about like DualSense having like
Yeah,
drift,
I've
like, are you
never
just going to
had.
wipe your ass with it?
Dude,
Like, what are you
like
doing?
what are you what are you doing? I don't. Yeah, like I'm the same way. I think the worst thing I had with mine. So I bought a black PS5 controller before my PS5 arrived because
Oh,
I
Midnight Black.
yeah, because I got my PS5 like 6 months after initial release, which I was pretty
Mm-hmm.
proud of because I've never gotten a console that soon before. But anyway, I bought the black controller before the console got here, and that was like my main controller. Well, I don't know what happened. The square button on that black controller sticks like really bad.
Oh.
That's the worst thing I've seen. Other than that, I don't have stick drift. I don't have buttons sticking. I don't have anything
Yeah,
wrong with
I
these
mean,
controllers. I don't know
yeah, I
what the.
mean, we don't want to be apologists, right? We don't want to say that companies are right and consumers are not, but I am curious to how does that happen? Because I mean, I use the my controllers a lot. I play Kazan with it. I play games like that with it. Not, like games where you go like this a lot.
Yeah, you're
Like people in
slamming
movies
buttons and
play.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah, yeah,
slam buttons.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're like fucking. You're flicking those joysticks with like no remorse, with like no empathy.
Yeah, you're like,
I don't. Yeah, yeah. I
you're
don't
like,
know
yeah,
what I
yes,
have to do with it to make it malfunction.
yeah,
Although, although, here's one last thing before we go off. My My girlfriend, she does mostly play Nintendo. She's not much of a gamer. She plays some Zelda, and she does say that even she doesn't play much. And I've seen her play. She's like very delicate when she plays, right? She's not like hardcore or anything. And her Joy Cons do break. So I
Hmm.
think the Joy Cons we can say are
Yeah.
actually that bad.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, cause like, what I've had way too many Switches, and I played them for like a
How many
week.
Switches have you had?
So I bought a Switch on release. I didn't get it like the day it came out, but I got it like a couple weeks after, and I had it for a little while, and then I played it like 1 week, and I didn't touch it again. So I was like, you know what? I'll just sell it and just make my money. I pretty much got all my money back
Mhm,
for it because at the time they were kind of harder to find.
mhm,
Um, and then I bought another one, and I don't remember why I sold. I think I sold it again because I was like, it's just sitting
okay.
there. So finally, I bought another one,
Nice.
and I found this one for pretty cheap. It was brand new. I
And
got it off
is it
somebody.
just sitting there?
Yeah, it's sitting actually up on that shelf. You just can't see it. And then I did buy one more.
Why?
Because it was a Switch OLED. It had the
Oh right,
OLED
I
screen
forgot
on
about
it,
that.
and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
OLED, that's
Completely changes
sick.
experience. Yeah.
So when I had more money than
So
what
you
I
can
have
play
currently in my
720p games on an OLED screen.
that's right. So I said, but so when I had a little bit more money in my pocket, I was like, whatever. I got a little bit more, so I bought the OLED version, and I touched it 5 times probably. I have it in my
Yeah.
backpack that I take to work with me and stuff. Like I have all my stuff in it. And I have my laptop and a few things. I have my Switch
Hmm.
in a case in the bag, and I got a screen protector on it. I take care of it, but it's like dead as a doornail right now. I haven't charged it in weeks, and I think I booted up one time. I think I played Pokemon for 5 minutes, and I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, this sucks. And then I just
Man.
it doesn't suck, but I was like, I'm just not in. So I, even if the Switch was appropriately priced, even if the games were not like 80 to 90 bucks, I don't think I would. I don't think I
Hmm.
would go out and try to. Even if I was doing better financially, I don't know if I would even do that. In my opinion, a PS5 Pro makes more sense. The new Xbox Series X, that's the digital version. I think that makes
So
sense. I
you're
think
saying
the
that you're not getting the Switch too?
no, no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Hmm. Hmm.
I look. I'm like
Yeah,
80% sure I'm not getting it because
I get
if
it.
somewhere down the line, if it was cheaper, I might would grab it. But I'm not paying $80 for Mario Kart.
Yeah, no, no, you're right.
You
That
know,
does make sense.
and the thing is, that's the one game that I feel like my wife and I would play together, and I'm not
That
spending
sucks.
$80 on it. So it's like F it. I
Yeah.
have Mario Kart on mine that plays and runs great on my Switch. So F it. I just play on
Yeah, we
that.
didn't even talk about the fact that Nintendo is supposed to be like family friendly. So now, so if you want to, as a parent, right? If you want to get the game that most children, if you want to get a console that most children are going to play, right? Most of the peers of your child are going to play. You gotta like cash out.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But
Um,
anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna bring this conversation up with Russ whenever
yeah,
he comes back on the show because he just did a video on his channel talking about it. And
that would be
Nintendo's
interesting.
out their damn mind. So I want to
Hmm.
hear him do a little rant on the show. I think that'd be fun. But yeah, yeah, Kazan, decent. Nintendo, you're crazy. I think that's the show. Jan, do you got anything
That
for the
is.
people before we get on out of here?
I have a confession.
Sure.
I actually pre-ordered the Switch 2, the the Mario Kart
What?
bundle.
So we're
Okay, in my
talking all this shit, and you
in my
pre-ordered it?
defense,
Are you
well,
fucking
in my
kidding me?
well, in my defense, in my defense,
Oh
I
my
didn't pre-order it.
god.
My girlfriend did,
Oh, okay.
and
Blame it
we
on the girlfriend.
agreed that we would like split the bill. So,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
dude, okay, okay, I would have never agreed. I would have never agreed. But the next From Software game is a Switch exclusive. What's a guy to do? The Duskbloods. Come on, haven't heard of it?
Oh yeah, the new from software game. Yeah,
The
I
new
saw that.
From game, yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what's a man to do?
Why the hell is it on the Switch? Oh my god.
Because Nintendo financed it probably. That's what they do. They did the same thing with Bayonetta. Fucking vultures. Mm.
So you talked
They
all
go
this
like they go
shit
like.
just to tell me you pre-ordered the
Well, I
console?
agree with it. Well, I'm not gonna buy the $90 games. I think the console is appropriately priced.
Yeah, I don't.
Mhm.
We will keep talking all day about this.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
we
honestly. All right, just real quick. I don't. The price of the console doesn't really bother me because that makes sense because if it's that much of an upgrade and the base PS5 and Series X they're $500. All right, I kind of
hmm
just to get it on their level. I guess that's appropriate. But even then, I don't know. I
Yeah,
still
no,
think it's still a little. I think maybe if it's $400, I'd be fine with that. Four
yeah, no,
fifty, you're getting a little too close to the PS5 and Series X.
no, no. I agree. No, what they're selling, but I mean, I'm not paying the full price. Remember that. So
Okay, well, okay.
I'm disbarred from all charges. Is that what you said?
That
No, not disbarred. I'm
I
free
mean that's
from all
fair.
charges.
I mean,
hmm
if you were doing it like that, okay, whatever. But still, but like
Yeah, you just want something you want to play together. Yeah, again, Mario Kart.
yeah,
And it's a bundle. Then, as you said, you shave off like 30 to 40 euros. So whatever.
that's the only way to do it. That's the only way I would do it. But like I said, how much does Mario Kart mean to you? Like
Nothing.
just like to
I'm
me,
getting
it
it for the
means
Dust Bloods.
right. Okay. All right. Actually,
Mhm.
fun fact. Well, fun fact. Not really fun. Another thing I was going to mention with the Nintendo thing was that apparently I don't know what's going on right now, but Nintendo apparently delayed everyone's pre-order in the states. Um, Everybody who did pre-order, it's not going to come until like a little bit later in the states because it has something to do with. And I know we don't get political here, and I know vaguely about it, but there's something going on right now with a bunch of tariffs that are happening over here in the
Oh yeah.
states, and I think something with the tariff is like keeping Nintendo from selling the console over here until the tariff thing gets
Oh no.
resolved. Because so I,
Well,
I think a lot of people who pre-ordered don't even not even going to get theirs
a lot of
in
people are
time.
pointing fingers at Trump for the prices of the Switch games, which because like they say that uh some while back Nintendo moved all their factories from China to Vietnam so they could avoid what were then tariffs on like exports to China. But now the new tariffs are affecting Vietnam as well, and they're like super punishing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So people pointing fingers to that, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, maybe I don't understand enough about it to have an opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Nintendo would do it anyways, right? I think Nintendo would do it even if they didn't have to.
I think they would.
Let's not,
Yeah.
yeah, let's not,
Even if it was, they're just
make
using it as an
excuses
excuse.
for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Nintendo, man. They got like so much money, they don't know what to do with it, and they're milking us dry for their fucking games. It pisses me off.
Yeah, I just think it's funny you pre-order one after talking all this shit. But you know what? But I do respect it. I
Well,
know
the
going in together. I think that's more than fine. I honestly, if I had the option, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but at the same time, it's just I feel like it's going to be another thing again. Look! I just told you how many Switches I bought. I
yeah,
feel
no.
like I would just buy it. I play it for a week, and then
I mean, I'm telling you, dude, I won't play that much on it. My girlfriend's gonna mostly play on it, and then when a few Switch exclusives come out, that's when I'll get to play it. I definitely would not buy it if it's gonna go shit on a shelf like it would on your house. So,
yeah, I hear you. Um, what was the? Did you say any final words before we left? I can't remember
yeah,
because we're talking about
the
Nintendo again.
confession, the
Oh, the
confession.
confession was that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, no, I respect it. Yeah, but I think the only way I'm getting it, my part of my final
Mhm.
words is the only way I'm getting it is if it's like a sale. Maybe it comes down to like $400 or 350. If I'm doing okay in the funds and I think I can afford it, F it. But I'm not. I don't think I'm unless I get the bundle. I'm not spending $80 on Mario Kart.
Mhm.
I refuse.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
I. But I think final words. Yeah, thank you guys for checking out another episode of Deadhead Podcast, episode 66. Where we gave our thoughts on Kazan. We are glad to be back, and we're looking forward to the next one. We will be letting you guys know what's going on. We're not too sure what we're going to do with the next show yet, but we got a few things lined up, a couple good games coming out, and we got plenty to talk about for the year of 2025. So, with that being said, make sure to follow us everywhere. We have Twitter, Instagram, our Facebook fan page. We also have a TikTok page, which I don't really contribute to as much as I used to. So, I apologize for that. But we should be and clear to have a couple guests coming on next few weeks. Definitely give us a check then. We'll talk about more gaming stuff and things surrounding just pop culture in general. But until then, thank you guys for checking out this episode. You'll if you're just now tuning in, you'll be able to watch it later on as well on YouTube. And with that being said, we'll see you in the next one. Stay dead, my friends.